So the Islamic State has indeed faced unprecedented military pressure in cities like Raqqa, Fallujah, and Mosul, and the attempts to liberate these cities will be critical to the history of the Islamic State as a self-declared caliphate or state. What has happened is a shift in tactics for the Islamic State from the traditional military tactics of holding territory towards more insurgency-driven tactics of carrying out the kinds of punitive mass casualty attacks that we've seen in Baghdad in May, and also in the Syrian coastal cities of Jableh and Tartus in May as well, in these kind of areas which had been previously unscathed by the conflict since 2011. What we're also likely to see is an Islamic State attempt to exploit sectarian tensions across Iraq and Syria during these offensives. In the case of Falluja, it's likely to manifest in an emphasis on the role of Shia Muslim militants or militias that are involved in the offensive on Falluja. And in the case of Raqqa in northern Syria, it's more likely to concentrate on the predominantly Kurdish YPG unit involved in that offensive. And indeed, we've already seen the Islamic State have some success in recruiting local population from Raqqa to combat this perceived Kurdish invasion of the city. All of these offensives on Falluja, on Mosul, and on Raqqa are likely to be protracted as the Islamic State sets a concerted defense for these cities that are both strategically and symbolically of very high importance. In practice, that means that key roads to the cities are likely to be mined with hundreds of mines. The Islamic State will look to draw forces into very protracted urban warfare, and the group is also likely to try to maximize civilian casualties by using human shields and using the threat of high civilian casualties in these cities as a way to slow the military advance. The offensives will ultimately be successful in driving out Islamic State militants from these cities, but because of the protracted nature of the fighting and the concerted defenses, what we're likely to see is very large-scale destruction across all of these cities, and that's indeed something that the Islamic State is hoping to achieve before it's driven out of any of these cities, as that means that it will maintain an ability to gain support from the local population in these areas. And on top of that, what we're likely to also see is the Islamic State leaving sleeper cells in these areas. This is a tactic that it has used before, and it means that even if these cities are liberated, the Islamic State is likely to be able to rely on these kind of sleeper cells in liberated areas to continue to carry out mass casualty attacks. The Islamic State manages to prolong these offensives. It's likely that there will be significant destruction of the cities, which will impact negatively on the local populations there, allowing the Islamic State to continue to exploit sectarian tensions and maintain a low-level support base that will allow it to continue its insurgency operations to carry out the type of mass casualty attacks that it will rely on following the shift from military to insurgency tactics. As such, in the longer term, the Islamic State will continue to benefit from these underlying sectarian tensions across Iraq and Syria between Shia and Sunni Muslims. In terms of the response of Iraqi security forces and the US-led coalition, it's really critical that civilian casualties are minimized and efforts to reconstruct these cities following the offensives are effective as a way to offset the Islamic State's ability to exploit sectarian tensions. In addition, there's a significant need to continue targeting Islamic State leadership to really degrade the organization.